Hi, everybody. We're starting in a few minutes. So if you want to go get a cup of tea or coffee, that would be nice.
Mitchie, are you trying to say that I'm going to put them to sleep so they need caffeine before we start?
No. Hi, Peggy. We'll just give it 1 more minute and then we can kick off. Well, I think we can start now, Sam. What do you think?
Sure. We have it's a lot of people online, so yeah.
Yep. Okay. Well, welcome everybody to today's webinar. My name is Meche and I'll be your host. Today we are joined by Shure. They'll be sharing insights into the value and capabilities of Intellimix kits. I will let the Shure team presenter introduce himself. Over to you, Sam.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me. Thank you, everyone, for joining. I'm Sam Sabet. I'm Chief Technology Officer here at Shure. I've been with Shure for about 2 years now, and previous to that, I used to head up product development and delivery at Crestron. So I've been in the industry for a couple of decades now, and I'm sure I've had the pleasure of meeting many of you. If not, I look forward to at some point meeting you in one of the trade shows that we all go to. But again, I'm very excited to be here, excited to share with you our latest and greatest in Teams Room products that we will talk about. And thank you for having me, Angie.
Thank you, Sam. Well, here's what you can expect in today's session. So we're starting with an interview recording featuring Marcus from GPA Sweden and Peggy from GPA United States as they discuss key aspects of this Intellimix kit solution. Then we'll hear directly from Sam. And then finally, we'll open the floor for Q&A. I'll share my screen now to play the interview. Everyone, and welcome to segment of our webinar. Today we have a fascinating conversation with Peggy and Marcus. Peggy?
Thanks, Mayshay. Hi, everyone. I'm Peggy Martinez. I am with the United States RBU, AVI Systems, and I am our Global Microsoft Director managing our Microsoft Alliance. Marcus?
Thank you. Hi, everybody. My name is Marcus Boy, and I'm the Technical Director at Informationsteknik, that is the Swedish RBU within GPA. So it's really nice to be here today, especially since both Peggy and we have had the opportunity to get some test kits. So we have this Shure IMX room kits installed, and we're actually using them right now. So I've had a kit with all of the components, and it's running right now in this room, and also in Peggy's room. So Peggy, what's your experience and your reactions, and how did your staff experience this kit?
Yes, thanks, Marcus. We're fortunate. We've actually had the kit now for over a month, so definitely for several weeks. Our staff found it very easy to deploy. They loved that it was everything was included in the kit that they needed. There was, one SKU and everything is included, the corporate the cables, and everything else, the mounts, anything that you need. So they found it very easy to deploy. They like myself, we've been using it. We love this little bit larger display here on the table. We do like that. The camera works wonderful. And obviously the audio is, the best that you can get. And with all of the new AI features that are being rolled out in Teams rooms now and over the next year, this audio is just going to be so beneficial to those end users that decide to use this kit. How have you found it to be when you deployed your kit?
I was really amazed because, as you mentioned, everything came together, all the cables, network switch, everything, and I believe it took me 5 minutes to unbox it, connect everything. It took a little bit more while to get up into the ceiling and put the ceiling mic / speaker, but it was really really easy. So I have a leading question for you then. One of the things that we have had a little bit of experience with using the Shure MXA stuff, top of the line, but we always need to send like an audio engineer to configure the DSP, etc. So how was your experience around that? Do you need to send an audio engineer on site to get this up and running?
We did not. So we were able to use one of our installers. We just gave him the box and the kit, and we said, here you go, and you deploy it. And he had no problems whatsoever, didn't need any assistance with anyone that was maybe like an expert in the audio piece of it. He was able to get it right out of the box, working no problem. So, which I think is a great benefit to this entire kit. Did you have that same experience on your side deploying it?
Definitely. I really liked it that you had all of the components. And also one thing that sometimes is challenging for us is when we are in a corporate environment to bring in this kind of equipment with Dante microphones, etc., into their network. But in this kit, Shure has added a special network switch that you connect to the compute that creates a private network. So they've thought of all of those things. So you only connect the compute to the corporate network, and then all of the audio has a separate switch, and everything is in the box from the beginning. Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
When we deploy a lot of those, we need to manage those. So have you looked into this with the management possibilities of this?
Absolutely. So the one big benefit, another benefit of this great kit is it can be managed through Microsoft's Pro Management Portal, the PMP. So, most customers are looking to have, one place to go to manage as much as they can. And fortunately, this kit can be managed as well in the Microsoft portal. Now, we know that this kit, one of the beauties of it is there are many sizes of this kit, right? So you can have kit for a small room, a medium room, a large room, an extra large room. And so if you find that as you go into larger spaces, you need another management tool in addition to Microsoft's, fortunately, Shure has its own portal that you can use, a management tool, to then also add extra features to managing these rooms. But when it comes to small and medium rooms, you shouldn't need anything else. And I think that is what our customers will be very happy to hear.
Yeah, that's cool. I haven't had the opportunity to try the Shure management portal yet, but I'm really looking forward to testing that. So to round up, I've only had this kit here for 2 days, so it's just fresh out of the box. But you have had it for a little bit longer, and actually also had some customers. Do you have any, what kind of customer reactions have you had with this kit?
Yes, we're fortunate that right after we installed it, we had a couple large major corporations come to our experience center, and the reaction has been very positive. I will tell you, they're surprised at first when they walk in and we tell them that this is a kit. It all comes together, right? Because they're used to thinking that they have to buy the audio separately when it comes to Shure. So they were very pleasantly surprised to hear that they could get this entire kit put all together for them. So initial reaction has been great. They loved the camera quality and the audio quality as well. So far, big thumbs up.
And the same from us. So back to you, Metje.
Well, that was a fantastic discussion, Peggy and Marcus. Huge thanks for sharing your feedback and what it means for GPA. And thanks again for joining all of you, and enjoy the rest of the webinar. Thank you again, Peggy and Marcus, for doing this amazing collaboration. Now to dive deeper into the Intellimix room kit, Sam, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Angie. I appreciate it. All right, everyone. That was actually a great intro video, and I really appreciate Peggy and Marcus doing that. I was actually joking yesterday with my colleague, saying that they did such an amazing job. I don't know that I need to talk anymore. I think they pointed out all the value and all the items that I would have shared with you. But let's get into the nitty-gritty details. There we go. So the big thing I think that we all realize is that all of our customers are excited to start taking advantage of some of the newer features in the collaboration space, including AI. AI is a big buzzword now that in the industry. And to be fair, I'm a very big fan of Copilot and the AI facilitators in general, just because it's a game changer in the way we do business now, right? If you're like me and you're double booked or triple booked for meetings, it's now not as much of a challenge. You can read the transcriptions, you can read the summaries, get action items during meetings. You know who said what during the meeting, because speaker attribution is also available. It's really been a game changer in terms of collaboration in general. However, if you're like me, one of the things that you worry about is, did the AI actually accurately present the data to you? Did it actually summarize properly? And the only way to trust what AI is giving you is by ensuring that the information that the AI is getting is also fairly accurate. Otherwise, what ends up happening is that if you don't trust it, you have to double check everything that it's giving you. And if you're doing that, then you've basically lost all the efficiencies that these AI tools are giving you. So how do you trust it? You need to ensure that the data is pristine that it gets so it can make the right decisions and summaries, etc. And really what that comes down to at the end of the day is that the audio quality that's being brought into that meeting needs to be high fidelity. It needs to be of the highest quality. And really, that's where Shure shines, and that's where we are concentrating our efforts to and working hand in hand with Microsoft and the Microsoft engineers to ensure intelligibility from all our audio products, and that audio capture is as pristine as you would and seamless as you would imagine or you would expect from a Shure product. So keep in mind that that same philosophy we've carried over into all of our products, all of our conferencing products, including the Intellimix room kits that we will talk about today. So traditionally, I mean, you've been in the industry for a long time. I'm sure that you all have seen some form of this representation of the pyramid of the different spaces within our industry, from the high-end, complex, high-impact rooms to medium rooms, small rooms, huddle areas, all the way down to even personal and home office space. Traditionally, I'm sure we've been used to having the high audio and experiences like the Shure Array mics as an example in the more top of that pyramid, in the more complex premium spaces. But really, at Shure, we're committed to try to bring that same experience of high-end audio quality to all the areas of the pyramid, all the way down, even to the personal office space, where we now have Teams certified personal devices that are headphones, and if you know the MV7 Plus, which is a leading mic in even the podcasting environments, that's also now Teams certified. But for the ability for you when you're collaborating, whether you're in person, in a room, or at home as the remote participant, to expect that very same audio quality and that same experience that we know and love from Shure products. And the Intellimix room kits that we are introducing today help standardize that experience across the gamut in the enterprise space, whether it's small room, medium, large, or even complex rooms. So we would like to, so not only are we concentrating on driving that audio quality and that experience down, but we also understand the complexity it takes to install a lot of these systems and to configure the audio within a room. And so we would also like to drive the simplicity and ease of installing a room across that entire gamut as well. So how are we planning to do that? So we've launched our Shure Intellimix room kits that are now Microsoft Teams room certified, that provide not only a premium audio experience, but also we've partnered with arguably one of the best video manufacturers or camera manufacturers in the industry to also provide a premium video experience as well within those spaces. So why is this important? I mean, there's a number of reasons. First and foremost, we all understand that collaboration today is of utmost importance, because I haven't been in a meeting, I think, in the last, I don't know, 5 years that didn't involve some remote participants. And that ability to be able to have everyone within the room, remote or local, be heard and have their voice heard within the meeting and feel like they're included and immersed in the actual discussions is very important. And that involves both video and audio and intelligibility. And so that was one of a main concern for us when we came up with these kits, is that we need to be able to provide that ability to engage and interact in all different environments. The second is that we also understand that the complexity and of deploying rooms, and that we need to make that more efficient. And so the kits are really pre-configured, auto configuring out of the box. They require very little management to be able to get them to work. They even support Microsoft Autopilot, so you have the ability to pre-configure before you even send them on site, and literally almost just plug them in and they're up and running. We obviously understand from an end customer perspective that once deployed, there's a management aspect to this, and that customers need to feel comfortable that they can have these products on their network. And since this is an MTRW system built on Windows security, IT management is very standardized. IT departments know how to manage Windows machines. They know how to deploy policies, etc. So it really allows for real-time provisioning, monitoring, and control that you can trust and that Shure stands behind. And then finally, as Peggy mentioned in the video, it's nice to be able to get the entire kit from one manufacturer and from Shure, where we stand behind the product. You can expect the same quality, the same support mechanisms that we're used to. And in addition to that, not only do we stand behind the product and the kit as a complete solution, but we are also offering extended warranties to give ease of mind to your end customers as well. So what is this kit made up of? Obviously, we need a compute that runs the MTR Windows solution. We also need a touch panel that sits on the table for the interaction with Teams. And really, fundamentally, that is the foundation that the rest of the solutions are based off of. What makes this special, of course, is that the compute also runs Intellimix Room DSP, which is Shure's proprietary software DSP. And really, that's the brains of the entire system. It is what allows us to be able to do auto configuring, auto sensing, auto adapting to room configuration changes, routing the audio properly within the room, et cetera, et cetera. But that foundation, the real strength here is once you are familiar with that foundation and know how to deploy it, it doesn't matter what size room we are talking about, whether it's small, medium, large, or even complex rooms. That same foundation applies to all of them, and all that happens as you move up in the ladder or in that pyramid of rooms is that you add more peripherals, if you will, to expand the coverage. And so we pair that obviously with our ceiling arrays, the MXA 902, which is really one of my favorite products and near and dear to my heart, because it's actually the first product we launched as soon as I joined Shure. And so it's the first one that I actually got to experience live. And to me, it's a one-of-a-kind product in the market. If you're not familiar with the MXA 902, it is the only product in the market that's a ceiling array mic that also includes a built-in loudspeaker. What does that mean, and why is that important? Is that basically with one Cat 5 or Cat 6 cable to the ceiling, you now have mic arrays and you have the speakers as well, and power to it all. So you only need to run one cable to the ceiling and you're done in terms of audio. So it's an amazing product that has the same DSP and sound and audio processing capabilities as our rest of our MXA lineup. And it sounds great, and you will have noticed from the video with Marcus and Peggy, and it just works. Finally, next to that, you now have the video, of course, which is a very important part of it. And as I said, we partnered with Hudley, who has a very unique solution in terms of cameras in the market, and I think that their solution is great as well. It includes AI for what you would expect for amazing quality video within a conferencing room. And we'll talk about that more. But essentially, with those two peripherals, you can adjust the coverage of the size of the room that you're installing in. By adding multiple MXA 902s, you can get much further coverage in terms of audio. And by adding a different Hudley camera, you can expand the coverage of the video as well. And the kits come with, basically, we'll move on to the next page, which basically shows the scalable solutions of these kits. So you start with an IMXR K30 kit that's really meant for small to medium rooms. That includes one MXA 902. It includes a Hudley IQ, which is a USB camera that will give you coverage in that small area. But as you move further up into the medium and larger rooms, you can now expand to the Hudley L1 camera, which covers a much larger area. And then if you go further up into the larger rooms, the IMXR K70, you now need more audio coverage. Therefore, you add a second MXA 902 to be able to get that audio coverage. Finally, if you have a more complex system, a high-impact room that's perhaps reconfigurable, or you want to be able to get multi-camera support and get different shots of the participants, then you can also upgrade to the Hudley Crew system within that kit that allows you to have 3 cameras available to get the optimum video capture for participants in a room. So as you can see, the fundamental components are the same, and it's just a matter of adding additional peripherals to increase the coverage for the different spaces. So let's take a quick look at the details of some of these kits. The first and foremost thing to mention, as I said, is that within the kit, we have our Intellimix DSP software, and that really does become the brains of the entire system. We've worked very, very closely with Microsoft engineers to ensure that that runs in harmony with Microsoft Teams on the same compute, that we have enough performance within the compute to be able to manage both and see no degradation. What you will also note is that this is a full-blown DSP solution, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. But it's what allows us to be able to configure the entire system and adapt to the different sized rooms. This comes pre-installed, pre-licensed on the box, so there's really nothing you have to do to activate it. As you know, Intellimix DSP software is also a separately licensed DSP software that you can install on a Windows machine in general. But here it's pre-licensed when the kit ships. Zero-touch provisioning. As I said, we have the support of Microsoft Autopilot, so the system can pre-configure it and just power it up to automatically join Teams as soon as it comes up. And finally, with Intellimix Room DSP and the Hudley software, you get the latest and greatest AI-driven algorithms for both audio and video. And we'll touch on that a little bit more as well as we move forward in details. So the compute itself is purpose-built for this conferencing application. It's a Windows 11 IoT Enterprise OS, and it's Intel's 12th generation i5. And this is important because it is high-powered and allows us to be able to support, for example, a multi-display solution. So you can have 2 displays, not just a single display. The Intellimix DSP that's on there also auto-routes and the audio as soon as it powers up by detecting the audio peripherals on there. If you'll notice in the video that Marcus and Peggy were kind enough to shoot for us, they mentioned the fact that the audio devices are on a separate private network. That's true. The compute is on the corporate network, and then we create a separate private network for all the peripheral devices. And what that allows us to do then is to auto-discover all the devices that are connected automatically and route the audio seamlessly to the right location so that you don't have to worry about pre-configuring any of this. Intellimix Room DSP is an 8-channel DSP that is one of our flagship products, and what that allows us to be able to do is add all of the new our new features into it as we move along. And obviously, since this is within a Windows ecosystem, that it is automatically always updating through Windows Update. And what you will see, for example, is that our latest and greatest features like AI denoiser, AI deverb, virtual acoustic barrier, and many more as we continue to expand on our portfolio, become part of this Intellimix Room DSP. And they're available on the box should you choose to configure them and enable them. In addition, the box also has the Hudley Connect app, which allows for camera setup and control and seamless device updates and software updates to the camera as well. So it allows for easy maintenance and easy monitoring of your entire system. On the hardware side, you will notice that the compute is built as a sleek industrial design that's very similar to what you would expect from all of our Shure products like the P300. But we really concentrated heavily on trying to address pain points for installation and deployment. And so we were very careful to talk to a lot of customers and get their feedback on what would make life easier in terms of deploying this product. And so you'll notice that we take into account very clean, slick cable management solutions. There's a cover that allows for the cables to be inserted, and then as it is placed in place, it holds it so that you don't have that danger of disconnects during regular operation. In addition to that, we also provide the wall mounting solution within the kit so that the box can be discreetly installed behind the display, so it's out of sight and gives a very clean, slick look with only just the touch panel on the table. The touch panel itself, we also spent a lot of time thinking about and designing. And as Peggy and Marcus mentioned, that it is a larger 11-inch high-resolution display, which customers like and gives you a much easier interaction with the Teams interface. It obviously runs the Teams UI, which gives you the one-touch join for Microsoft Teams calls that you would expect. It also comes with a PIR sensor or motion sensor, so that for sustainability, you can imagine the room when you're not in use powers down, the display goes to sleep, the touch panel goes dark. But as soon as someone walks into the room, it detects that and wakes up the room so you're ready to join your meeting. We try to make, as I said, deployment easy and simple with the least amount of cabling. And so between the touch panel and the compute is one simple Cat6 cable. We recognize that you also want to be able to present to the display or share within the meeting. And the way that works is that there's just a USB-C cable from the touch panel that you plug into your laptop, and you immediately get the ability to share within the meeting or display to, when you're not even in a meeting, even to be able to display on the screen. All of that is carried over, both the connectivity to the touch panel and the ingest from your laptop to the display is carried over the same Cat6 cable. So it's just one connection from the back of the screen to the table, and that's all you have to do to deploy. And it'll give you power, it will give you HDMI ingest or USB-C in this particular case, and pretty much everything you need to run the meeting. We do understand as well, like I said, we were thinking about the different configurations that you would want to install this, and we understand in small huddle rooms where table space is very precious, you may not want to put the touch panel on the table, and therefore we also have an optional wall mount solution for you to be able to put that touch panel on there. And lastly, we also recognize that a flat touch panel on the table may not give the best viewing angle. And so the touch panel comes with a kickstand that allows you to adjust the viewing angle for the preference of the end user. And interestingly enough, Peggy and Marcus also mentions this in the video. This is why I said it. They pretty much made my job very easy. But the concept was we want a single SKU that has everything you could possibly need to be able to bring the entire room up within 5 minutes, as Marcus mentioned. And so you'll notice that we painstakingly went through and thought of everything that you could possibly need in terms of accessories, peripherals to install the system and bring it up as fast as possible. And all that comes in one SKU, one box, that as soon as you unbox it, you can just install everything and you're done. So you'll notice the compute has the wall mounting bracket. It has the various power cords needed per region. We even include things like mounting screws or drywall anchors or concrete anchors as needed. All the HDMI cables to connect to the displays are in there. All the power cords for the switches, the Ethernet cables with various lengths are in there. And we also have both the cable to the touch panel and the USB-C cable for the content sharing within the room. You'll also note that we mentioned that we have to create a separate network for the peripherals so that they're not on the corporate network. And we supplied the switch that allows us to do that. The switch also happens to be a PoE switch, which makes it also perfect for powering all the peripherals. So that single Cat6 cable going to the peripherals takes care of everything. Also included are the cameras within the kit and the mounts for those cameras in addition. So pretty much all the accessories, all the power and connectivity, all in one box under one SKU when you order it. So I've mentioned this a couple of times that the Intellimix, their software DSP, is really the core enabler technology for creating this. If you'll notice, we've created that separate network to be able to auto-discover the MXAs and auto-route all the audio to them. But out of the box, this is all available to you to be able to plug and play, and it works. But that DSP also happens to be a full-blown DSP. So if you need to customize for the more complex rooms, you have that ability. But the beauty of it is that it's all software running on the compute that's running your MTR Windows as well. That eliminates a number of boxes that you would have to deploy. And it just makes the system that much more reliable, less failure points, and much easier to deploy. In addition, the DSP also enables audio encryption so that you have that encrypted path to the peripherals, and which is important to our end customers, as we know. The MXA 902 adds also the second part to the audio story in the sense that it also has onboard audio processing that we know and love within our entire MXA ecosystem. It is great for speech capture. It's great for reproduction of speech on the loudspeaker side, and it really is a one-of-a-kind solution in the market today. Because it's part of the MXA family, it also has the same mounting options that we know and love with both in-ceiling, on-ceiling, pole or wire rope mounting accessories that you can order to be able to adapt to whatever environment that you're installing this in. On the video side, because we are leveraging the Huddly solution, you'll notice that we have the various types of Huddly cameras, including the IQ, which is a USB camera, but then we have the L1, which is a network-based camera, and multiple N1s can provide the Huddly Crew solution, which has the three multi-camera. Uniquely about this product is that it is ePTZ cameras, which means that it's more reliable. You don't have the mechanical movement, but it also is less distracting to the people in the room when the camera is shifting focus. Again, because the theme around the product is simplicity and ease of use and ease of installation, there is no setup like you would expect from a multi-camera solution where you have to map out the room and put placements of where the cameras need to be. This is all automatically set up by just simply plugging in the cameras, and they will auto-configure for the room. So in summary, what you really get is a fully networked solution that with fewer cables, because everything is a Cat5 solution, except for when we talk about the Huddly IQ for the small rooms, that's a USB camera. But everything else is standard IT workflows that you would expect from a network solution. Auto configuration allows you to just power up and allow it to do its configuration for nearly touchless setup. And really, it allows for simplicity and ease of maintenance because it auto adapts as well to changes in the environment. So why is this important to us and to this audience? Really, because standardizing across all the different spaces allows us to take advantage of skills and training for people on the specific foundation, which carry over to all the systems. It's not a one-off solution for any of the different environments. It also allows for the simplicity of deployment in the smaller areas so that the highly skilled personnel that you deploy to your customers can focus on those high impact areas, the more complex spaces where your expertise add value and are much more important. But you get us a single vendor solution and a common solution for that matter with common components that can carry over across the gamut from the simple rooms all the way to the larger, more complex room. And you can now bring that high quality audio solution that was reserved for the high-end, more complex rooms down to any room within the enterprise. So if you look at the kits, and I'll go through these a little more quickly because I'm conscious of the time and I would like to leave some time for Q&A, but the components are very similar. You'll notice there is a Ethernet connection that's separate to the USB switch, to the PoE switch that now powers your audio device. In the small room, it's a Huddly IQ with a USB connection to the compute. Touch panel is a network or is a Cat6 cable from the computer to the touch panel. If we go through, you can then be able to address a small room 20 to 18 feet or 6 meters by 5.5 meters. Pretty much standard installation. You would have your MXA 902 in the ceiling. You would have your touch panel on the table. All the green is simply Cat6 cable coming back to the compute. And finally, a USB cable to the Huddly IQ that would be installed on the wall. In this solution, because it is a smaller room, you would have one display, but you can always have multiple displays if that makes more sense. As you move into as you move into the larger rooms, you now do not have the Huddly IQ USB anymore. You replace it with a Huddly L1 camera, still one MXA 902. But now this gives you the ability to expand to more medium to large rooms. Same exact configurations. You now support 2 displays. You have the Huddly L1 mounted in the front of the room. Same exact configuration for the audio solutions. As you go into the larger rooms with where you need more audio coverage, and a room that's 10 by 5 meters or 33 feet by 16.5. We now add a second MXA 902 to get that total audio coverage and be more uniform for everyone in the room. Nothing else changes. All the components are identical. And you'll see now you have 1 or 2, you have multiple MXA 902s in the ceiling. Everything else remains the same as the previous kit. Finally, for the more complex rooms where you do need a multi-camera system, we add the Huddly Crew solution, which you will notice now requires a second switch that's also included within the kit to power the cameras and give you the ability to run that crew solution separately. Everything else remains the same, two MXA 902s, and that gives you more coverage throughout the room. So you'll notice, for example, in this reconfigurable or more complex solution, you now have three cameras in the front of the room. You have the two 902s to give you full coverage of audio across the room, and the components also remain the same. Obviously, this is a solution that's built on the Microsoft ecosystem. It runs Microsoft Windows. So you would expect the same level of enterprise security that the IT departments are used to. In addition, because we connect to our Shure cloud system, that's a fully secure connection to the cloud as well, using the latest and greatest SSL standards, et cetera, for IoT communication. So it is an IT-friendly communication path that any IT department should be familiar with. So when we manage, as Peggy and Marcus also mentioned, since this is an MTR Windows solution, it's easily manageable through Teams Admin Center or Teams Pro Portal. But in addition to that, you have the ability to use our Shure Cloud management solution, which gives you the ability to monitor, manage, update, and troubleshoot Shure equipment. It is using the latest standards in terms of security. But in addition, as Shure Cloud matures and we add more feature sets, you will also be able to take advantage of those feature sets. You will be able to connect to things like ServiceNow to create automatic tickets for IT workflows when there is an alert of some type in our Shure Cloud. And as we add more analytics and insights into Shure Cloud, you will also be able to take advantage of those and make more informed decisions in the enterprise. But if a customer is more comfortable using Teams Pro Portal or Teams Admin Center, then obviously they can continue to do that. The devices will show up there and are able to be inventoried and managed there as well. Finally, for peace of mind, so we've talked about ease of provisioning and installation, ease of mind in terms of security and management of the system. But we also recognize that IT departments would like to have ease of mind of the hardware and the fact that it'll be replaceable if should something go wrong. And so we provide a 2-year warranty, but on top of that, you can get an extended 3-year warranty to give you a total of 5 years coverage on the entire kit. The cost of the warranty covers repairs, replacements, and applies to really all the products within the kit, including the cameras and non-Shure branded products there as well. And that's it. Hopefully that helps answer or helps give you a better insight into the Intellimix room kits that we are talking about and our vision towards simplifying and adding that premium audio experience across the board, whether it's in large rooms, medium rooms, small rooms, or even in home office solutions as well. And I'll leave time now for a Q&A. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have.
Thank you, Sam. We do have 2 questions, one from Igor, and his question is, does the touch panel have a glass mount option?
Yes, we do have a glass mount option that's a separate accessory. I can get you more information on that as well. Actually, I'll mention, I don't know I noticed there was a question also on whether they will get the presentation. Obviously, we will. Yeah. You can answer that part. But any other information, product information, I'll make sure Rob is connected with you and gets you everything you need there.
Mm-hmm. And then we have another question from Francis. That is, how do you update the firmware and Windows updates?
So Windows updates, just like most MTRW solutions, is an automatic push from Microsoft. So firmware on the device will be uploaded to Microsoft's Windows Update solution, and it automatically pushes down. Just like your PC gets Windows Update solutions, it will be the same thing. Now, if you would like to update things manually for whatever reason, maybe it's an IT policy, you can obviously push it down as well. We will still support our SUU type of, which is the Shure update utility that we know and love that allows for manual updating of devices as well, should we need that. We will also support updating the devices through Shure Cloud if you'd like to push it from there as well, if you're managing at scale.
And then we have two other questions regarding the license. So they are kind of the same. So it's if it's a permanent license or a subscription based.
On the Intellimix room kits, it is a permanent license.
Okay. Well, those were the questions that the attendees had. If you have any other questions, this is your time to drop them in the chat. If not, you can reach out to me and I'll connect you to Sam and Rob from Shure.
Yep. And Peggy's absolutely right, by the way. If you're using the Pro Management Portal, you have a lot more flexibility on how you deploy the automatic updates, because it is a Windows system at the end as well. So thank you, Peggy, for answering that. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Sam. Thanks again, Peggy, for your interview, and thank you all for joining this session. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. Have a great day.
Goodbye.